Coming up on Mountain News this morning, Kentucky veterinarians remind you to watch out for rabies before it infects your pets or even yourself. And an Eastern Kentucky organization works with church members from out of state to help out its community.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
6:31 on this Wednesday morning. I'm Dakota Makris. Thanks for joining us this morning. You missed it. Our director accidentally queued up the headlines too fast, so just started reading. And I just heard the music and I just started reading. He was like, nope, too soon. All right, let's take it over to Brandon this morning. Well, Brandon, at least I'm always ready to go.
He was trained for those musical cues.
I was.
So he knew what was going on.
Because, sometimes they just won't say, because you just hear the music. You
That's
get
right.
used to it and you're just in there. You just know what you're doing. And
Exactly.
I just started reading. I was ready to go.
He was ready to go. He was on it this morning. But yeah, so we're on it with the weather forecast, and we're seeing again some cooler temperatures out there this morning. I don't think you'll need too many light jackets, but you might in some locations. You'll be able to get rid of those pretty quickly by this afternoon. Let's take a look. Buffalo Mountain looking at 55. A few clouds up there this morning. Not too bad. As you head out the door, 52 now, Irvin. They were at 51 a few minutes ago. 55 Moorhead, Hazard, and it's 55 in Monticello as well. 56 in Manchester, 54 in Clintwood, 60 in Pikeville, 66 in Jacksboro this morning. A couple of warmer spots across the southeast. A lot of 70s and 80s out there. 72 Atlanta, 81 in New Orleans, 62 Wichita, Kansas, 68 St. Louis, 59 though Indianapolis, and 55 in Pittsburgh. Forecast for today here at home, we're heading up to 87 this afternoon. Dew points will stay low, so it will be heat hot, but not sticky hot today. So keep that in mind. Cooler tonight. We drop into the low 60s though, but tomorrow the heat and humidity are back on. More on that in just a few minutes. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. A Floyd County man was arrested on child sexual exploitation charges. State police say Christopher Jacob Hall was found, interviewed, and arrested after an undercover internet crimes against children investigation. Hall's home in Herald was searched with computer equipment used in the crime taken and sent to KSP's forensic lab. He is charged with 20 counts of possessing child pornography and 1 count of distributing child pornography. He was taken to the Floyd County Detention Center. One person is dead following a crash that happened Tuesday evening. State police say a car was traveling along Kentucky 2012, also known as Brownings Creek Road, near the intersection with Bakken Road when the car crashed, killing 42-year-old Elizabeth No. No other information has been released at this time. Well, one man is dead following a manhunt that began in Tennessee on Monday and ended in Louisville Tuesday evening. Metro Nashville Police Department says 34-year-old Samuel Edwards was wanted in connection to a shooting injuring a police officer in Hendersonville, Tennessee Monday night. Police say when they tried to perform a traffic stop, he drove away and began shooting at them during the chase, injuring an officer in the process. Multiple agencies, including the FBI, began looking for Edwards, eventually finding him in Louisville. Around 8 o'clock Tuesday evening, police engaged with the shootout with him on Dixie Highway, killing him. The officer that shot Edwards during the initial chase has since been released from a hospital and is now recovering at home. Regardless of the advances with modern-day medicine, rabies is still a disease that public health officials and veterinarians want to warn people about. Our Alyssa Williams has more on why you should still be concerned with this illness and how you can keep yourself and your pets safe from it.
A disease that is still prevalent, especially in rural areas.
Rabies is something that, we still see cases of. It isn't eradicated, in the United States or the world by any means.
And once you or your pet is bitten by an animal infected with the disease, it is only a matter of time before things become fatal.
If you're seeing symptoms that you believe are related to rabies, it's going to be too late.
So before you or your pets venture outdoors, it is important to take the necessary safety precautions to avoid any risk of contracting it.
Wildlife is going to be the main transmitter of that. But our animals, especially if you have dogs and cats that are indoor, outdoor, they may get exposed. So definitely you want to make sure that your pets are vaccinated.
Nocturnal wildlife like bats, raccoons, or possums are some of the more common transmitters of rabies.
So if you see nocturnal animals out in the middle of the day, then that could be a sign that they may have rabies, especially amongst wildlife.
If you are bitten by an animal and you are unsure as to whether that animal is infected or not, you should always seek medical attention.
If a person is bitten and suspects rabies, it's very important that they get to a healthcare provider. It is not an emergency, but it is urgent. Urgency is very, very important.
Helping to keep everyone informed on the dangers that are out there waiting for you or your pets. In Hazard, Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
Veterinarians say not only is it important to ensure your pets are vaccinated against rabies, but it's also crucial that you are careful about where you buy those vaccinations. They say you should steer clear of over-the-counter rabies vaccines because they are often not as effective as getting one from a vet's office. Well, it's no secret that this time of year can be stressful for your pets. Fireworks can scare them and cause anxiety. Well, for one Jessamine County woman, they could cause her horse some medical problems. Years ago, Picasso, the horse, started having what his owners called episodes when he got scared, often by fireworks. He was diagnosed with epilepsy, and they realized the episodes were actually seizures. The 4th of July isn't always a one-day affair in many neighborhoods, such as Picasso's. Fireworks went off for days surrounding the holiday.
We ask the neighborhood, just shoot your fireworks off on the 4th because we can plan for that. We can put them in the barn and so on. They've been great. I mean, it has been fantastic.
Well, the owner explained that living in the horse capital of the world, chances are most people live near horses, and she hopes that people will reach out to their neighbors with horses and other animals ahead of this 4th of July celebration to have a conversation about any fireworks they'll be setting off. One Martin County organization is working to give back this summer, bringing in church groups from across the U.S. to lend a helping hand. Our buddy Forbes joined some of the volunteers as they work to freshen up a popular Inez Trail.
They say everyone chooses a path.
This is something that Christians are called to do, to go and serve locally, to serve, so maybe that's just in your own church, but also to reach out and to go outside of that.
For church groups working in Martin County this week, that path led to Appalachia Reach Out.
Do I have to run up it?
Kind of.
Oh no.
Our trail really needed a facelift, so to speak, and so these groups coming in, especially with the senior high groups that we have, high school students that are here to serve.
Volunteers of all ages, including dozens of youth group members,
I was on a roll earlier.
digging in to a week of work.
You know, you'd think that they wouldn't be up for doing hard labor like this and skilled stuff, but they love doing it.
With more than 70 mission members hitting some of the needs in the area, one group is focused on refreshing the Kingfisher Trail in Inez.
500 feet of new stairs, hopefully to help with not just spiritual development, but also with people's physical development as they get out and exercise. This beautiful here.
Working together to leave their mark on the community.
Just to watch them give of that is really inspiring. And our hope is that they realize that these are same things that they can be doing in their community as well.
And carrying back all the things they learned along the way.
Knew there's something about what God does when He calls us outside of our comfort zone.
In Martin County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
The 3 groups will be working through the week, and more groups will be in the area in the weeks to come to keep the mission going. Well, the Hazard Vendors Mall moved into a new location and is now open to the public. The new location is just across the street from the old Vendors Mall. The old storefront used to offer multiple vendors at a time, but owners hope that a new location can help them become an individual storefront. Cashier Brittany Costello says part of this expansion has allowed the mall to sell a wider variety of items.
We started dealing in furniture a whole lot more, and a lot of our bigger items like generators and weed eaters and chainsaws, stuff that we did not have room for. And we started dealing in like musical instruments that, you know, our smaller location just wasn't fit and big enough for that.
Well, she says they try to sell items at close to half price as possible to help the community. After hours of heated debate yesterday, the Urban County Board of Adjustments has approved the first phase of Lexington's Sporting Club's new soccer complex. Grayson Passmore tells us why some are passionately against the development and while others strongly support it.
I don't drive around the city and see a bunch of soccer balls. I see a bunch of horses.
And there are other suitable locations within the urban services boundary of Fayette County. There are hundreds of undeveloped or underdeveloped acres here within the urban services boundary.
Newtown Pike is a dangerous road. I've lived there since 1991. We've had a death at the end of my driveway of a motorcycle wreck.
The Lexington Sporting Club filed plans to build a 6,000-seat stadium and the youth soccer complex with 12 fields and 750 parking spots between Newtown Pike and Russell Cave Road. It's land a horse farm sits on now and land surrounded by many other farms. It's this location dozens of frustrated people spoke out against in front of the Urban County Board of Adjustment Tuesday evening. A zoning change would be required to build the stadium there, which the board approved. And just as people spoke out against it, others spoke in support of the potential for economic development and for youth in sports.
I had a degree, first generation, because of sport.
Watching this growth over the last 30, 40 years here in Lexington in this sport, it's amazing from where it was at that time. There's certainly a need for something like this.
This will create 10% as much traffic as a UK football game, or 1/6 of the traffic as a day at Keeneland. You know, traffic is part about prosperity and growth and opportunity.
That was Grayson Passmore reporting. The club released a statement applauding the decision and said it's committed to being a worthy neighbor to the community. There will be another meeting to discuss the club's next building proposal in July.
6:42 here on this Wednesday morning. We're looking at US 119, US 23 up going to Jenkins, going over Jenkins Mountain into southwest Virginia, which turns into Pound Mountain over that way. But again, fairly quiet this morning. No major issues. 59 in Wise, 55 in Hazard, 52 in Irvine, 55 also Morehead, 57 Somerset, 56 Manchester, 63 Middlesboro, 60 in Harlan, 54 Clintwood, 55 Wayne, 61 in Logan. Breakfast forecast. Good shade today as we head out the door. It's cool, it's comfortable, and it's going to get warmer as we head deeper today. Sunshine will take us into the upper 80s later this afternoon. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. Almost 6:43. When we come back here on Mountain News this morning, some data reveals a grim increase in deaths involving pregnant women during the pandemic. One of the reasons why when we come back.